guys. Welcome back.
Hello.
To SeaWorld Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Olivia.
And I'm your co-host, Ribu Thomas.
What's going on, Ribu Thomas?
Not much, but I think in one of the episodes we went over like my name, people calling me weird names.
Oh my God, yes.
I was called Rashid on the phone recently.
Rashid. Yeah. I feel like people just want to, they don't even want to attempt to say your name.
Like that too. And then does my voice sound very feminine? Like the tone?
Think.
Anytime I'm on the phone at work, they always say yes, ma'am.
No, they don't. You lie.
I am dead serious. It's like a thing at work. Everyone knows. Like,
really?
They always say yes, ma'am. Like, yes, ma'am. Oh, thank you, ma'am.
No. That's so funny. But I will say, since you are now off the chemo that made your voice different, that? I forgot to mention that last
Remember that
episode.
one commercial, like the lady was like, don't smoke cigarettes. Yeah. I get cancer. I got cancer without smoking cigarettes. Yeah. And I had that voice too.
Yeah, your voice, it was crazy because when you got your new chemo, completely, like your voice was so deep, like normal.
Yeah.
It was like, hey. I was like, wow.
Yeah. I remember the next day I was like, hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah.
And then, I remember I went to work. They're like, why are you talking like that? I'm like, this is my natural sexy voice.
Back to normal.
I'm back to normal, guys.
Anyways, we hope you've been having a great week. We had a great couple of
it's been good
weeks. We're going to get into everything you need to know. You know what we didn't do last episode? And I knew in my heart, I was like, we're forgetting something completely different. John, what didn't we do last episode?
Producer?
Senora vibes and sports update.
My God.
How dare we?
Guys.
How dare we?
You know that one girl, what's her name? Where she talks like, she's like, guys. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
She has a boyfriend. We like Erica Priscilla, whatever her name is.
Oh, guys. She's like, hi guys. Hi guys. I think she's so funny. Anyways, let's get into it. So Senora vibes. It's freaking hot still. What's new?
Although it did dip down to the 90s.
Girl, we're having a cold front next week.
Get your jackets out.
In the 80s. I'm so excited.
Is that considered fall?
Excited. I think that's a Texas fall, South Texas fall.
Girls, get your pumpkin spice. I already got my pumpkin spice.
Already got it, girl.
Me too.
Got that pumpkin.
Oh, before you do Senora vibes, guys, get on the Americano train.
Go ahead, tell them your order. So this took a long time.
Let me say this. I don't drink coffee. And a lot of it could be because I had Graves' disease. If you think about it.
Yeah, because it just made you feel funky.
I felt like another level. But I tell you what, if you're not ordering Americanos, you're not an Americano. All right. A tall 2 shots espresso has a little water in it and had a little sweet cream to it.
Yeah, that's your drink now.
Pretty good.
Iced.
Pretty good.
I don't know if you said that.
Iced,
right?
Iced. Yeah. But when it gets cold, I'm going to get a little hot.
A little PSL.
You
like the pumpkin spice lattes.
Don't be saying that out loud to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I find them a little too sweet. I
indulge into a little PSL every now and then, but you know.
I like the pumpkin. What is it? The pumpkin cream cold brew.
Yep.
Really good.
Really good.
And then there's new ones this year.
There's a new what?
Yeah, new fall drinks.
Tell me about.
The pumpkin chai.
I tried that.
What is it called? Pumpkin chai.
Pumpkin cream chai latte, something like that. Chai latte.
Did you like it?
It was way too. I mean, I think I like sweet things, but this was really sweet.
Yeah. And then they had another, like a pumpkin. I was telling John, pumpkin shaken espresso, something. Yeah. And I'm excited to try all of them, but they're a little too sweet. You got to get them half sweetened.
Dude, some people, I'm not going to name names, but some people like that I know get, and I know someone who's watching this is going to think I'm talking about them, but I'm not talking about that.
That pause, I could tell you were like, how do I get myself out of this hole?
Yeah. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about, I buy drinks on some events I go to. So that's the people I'm talking about.
Okay. So not people you exclusively work with.
Yeah.
Michelle. It's not you. It's not you, Michelle.
You do you, girl. We love you. You consistently support the podcast. I'm going to get you your next drink. Whenever you listen to this,
next drink's on me.
You're going to hear this. I'm going to buy it for you. So not you. I'm talking about others. Some sugary ass drinks. I tell you what. But it's like, they're like, it's coffee.
They're like, girl, it barely tastes like coffee.
Yes. Whipped cream and 7 o'clock in the morning.
Some people's coffee drinks are a little crazy. They're getting a little They're not even. They're like coffee adjacent.
Cinnamon dulce latte hot. Would you get that hot?
No, but I don't get.
I made fun of her too that she got it hot.
Is that a latte? I'm assuming.
Yeah, cinnamon dulce or dolce.
Dolce.
I would say dolce because dolce and cabana.
Yeah, I'd say dolce.
Dolce latte hot. She gets it hot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, that's so sweet.
You know what she did? Everyone dropped their Starbucks order.
Let us know.
That's interesting. Oh, we saw like the chocolate strawberry drink.
Chocolate covered strawberry
from
drink.
Starbucks.
I saw it or you sent it to me on TikTok. See, that's something I would not get. Yeah. Does that even have coffee?
I don't know. It's the pink drink which
is delicious.
Which I've had too. Pink drink with chocolate cold foam.
Girl, that Nesquik friggin' syrup.
Yeah.
The chocolate syrup.
That and then they're like, it tastes like, we haven't had it, but it tastes like a chocolate strawberry.
Sometimes those TikToks or Instagram reels get me with like the drink hacks mix.
You went like over a TikTok stretch with Starbucks drinks recently, right?
I sure did, because there was one who did low calorie of your favorite fall drinks. So like calorie. How to make the pumpkin spice latte not 3,000 calories. It though, right? I did it when I went to Target to shoot some content this past week. Actually, I got, I can't remember what it was, but you asked for it like with sugar-free this or half of this. And I've still found it too sweet. I don't really think I like their hardcore mixed drinks.
Yeah.
I still like to taste the coffee taste.
Like I've been liking the coffee taste recently, like the little espresso, like the little bitterness from it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like when I go, they ask, do you want blonde, like espresso?
Yeah.
What is the opposite of that?
Brunette. No, I think it's more the roast. So it's like a lighter roast. Okay. But did you know a light roast has more caffeine?
Oh, so the blonde has more?
Yeah, versus a dark roast. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Sounds right about right. I think I've heard that too.
And also, promise this isn't a coffee podcast unless y'all want it to be. But did you know that espresso? We talked about this with your mom, and she was. We blew her mind. That espresso is still it's coffee. It's just how it's pressed. Yeah. John, did you know that? Yeah. You didn't know that. Okay. Well, I blew two people's minds.
What does he know?
It's more of a finely ground coffee, and then you have to. It's like hardcore press, so it's like more concentrated.
Have you seen the people who are like hardcore espresso? Like they got the whole like machine set up with the bristles and.
Yeah.
Have you seen that on TikTok?
Yeah.
Some of it's like an art, like the puck, like whatever. They try to make it like a nice puck.
I'm not sure what that is.
Like inside the espresso container that they put espresso grounds in.
The pressy thingy?
It's all about making a nice espresso puck in there.
Oh, right. Yeah, because that's like how...
The water flows through it.
Exactly. Osmosis and whatnot.
Osmosis Jones.
Right. But anyways, I just thought I'd share that coffee is... Like the bean is the same as espresso.
You said you can add like the different sweeteners to make it low calorie?
Yeah.
You think you can add monk fruit? You know how like that's a sweetener too?
What is that? Stevia? Yeah.
Is monk fruit stevia?
Yeah.
John, what? I'm just kidding. You saying I don't know. Wait, no, monk fruit's not stevia.
Yeah, it is.
Monk fruit and stevia are the same thing.
I'm pretty sure.
Then why do they call
John? Look it up.
Yeah. Well, we just gotta look things up.
Come on, just get your phone.
Come on, man.
Get your phone. Do you need a laptop?
Jamie would have had it by now. Okay.
Jamie would have told us by now the breakdown of.
Yeah.
What is it, monk fruit? Girl, I can't do monk fruit. There's a certain taste that it's like a weird.
But you do know the protein thing that I have has monk fruit in it.
I know. I don't drink it that often. There's like a. It's like
there's
this.
A couple missing this morning.
There's a. No, there's not.
There's a couple missing.
That's you, fool.
No, drink
the monk fruit gives a weird taste.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I will say that.
One's from a fruit. Yeah, that's not two different things.
Oh.
Oh, the leaves
monk fruit leaf?
Of the same plant? Oh. What? Yeah.
It's the same, huh?
Wait, it's the same plant though? Like the fruit
from
that?
John, right? What's his name? Yeah, it is. Shut up, John.
Yeah.
Completely different. Well,
because there's this whole debate going on in the nutritional world right now that I'm just engulfed in about if artificial sweeteners are good for you or not. Like are they cancer causing?
Well, and you tell me.
Oh, yes. Yes, they are cancer causing. But I'm like, why not just use these natural ones? Like monk fruit.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because they probably taste like ass.
You've eaten ass? The monk. Is that what you're saying?
The monk fruit. It just has this weird taste to me.
Does it taste like ass?
And stevia. Because I used to try and get my Starbucks drinks an iced coffee with a splash of cream with stevia. And I prefer Splenda. Give me the cancer. Give it to me.
Okay,
I don't care.
This guy.
Just kidding. Not gonna lie.
Okay, anyways.
Sorry to bring that down.
Artificial ass over here. Artificial ass eater.
Let me get to my senora vibes, please.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah, you're like, before we start the senora vibes, we got to talk about coffee.
Well, because I just started. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, finish with, so that's your drink order. Is
Americano, tall with, if you want pumpkin cream, go there. I went that route, guys. If you want a little seasonal. I typically get vanilla sweet cream. Just a splash, though. You don't want to get it overly sweet.
Do they just put it at the top or do they blend it in?
They put it at the top, and I love how
when it trickles down.
I love when it trickles down.
That gradient, give it to me.
Like, it's not only the look, you feel like you're doing something in life.
Exactly. Right? I know exactly
like,
what you mean.
It's like the dark becomes my color.
Yeah.
Like
it goes from it goes from your color to my color when they put it on top.
No. It doesn't get that light. It gets my version of light.
Dang, so that's not a lot of sweet cream then.
No, I don't put a lot.
Wow.
What, are you saying I'm dark?
Yeah.
No, not that dark.
No, well, compared to me.
Yeah, but like compared to the color black, no, not that dark. The espresso is literally like dark.
Yeah. Anyways, I didn't even, okay, let me move on.
Yeah,
let me move on. The senora vibes are vibing for sure. The news is telling us that it's hot as balls, right? But we are getting a cold front. I just thought I'd let y'all know. I haven't been on my Good Morning America thing because my mom comes really early and then I go straight to
outside with Juju.
No, my mom does.
Oh yeah.
And then I go, I start getting ready and like start doing work and stuff. But my mom got jury duty last Monday. Mm. So I had to take care of Gigi all day. Can you imagine? And we did a proper senora vibe and it was nice. And the Good Morning America. And I have a bone to pick with a show that comes on after the local news.
Oh, don't even tell me about it.
Live with Mark and Kelly.
Oh.
Is it Mark Consuelo? Yeah, her husband.
With the one that used to be Regis and Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're talking about local.
No.
We don't like them?
They're beautiful to look at, both of them. They're so
Their husband and wife?
Yeah, their husband and wife. Oh. Really cool. And
I thought it was Ryan Seacrest.
No, he left to do something else recently. Semi-recently.
This guy's leaving to jump. He's jumping from.
Yeah, he had been there apparently 6 years or something.
Ryan Seacrest has been on that show for 6 years?
I might have made that up. But anyways, it's Mark now, which is her husband. So
incest.
The dynamic is interesting. And the thing with that show is it's live and they have a new audience every day. And so they have their producer, I can't remember his name, and they have like this lady who wears a headphones who like spins the wheel and does all of that, right? The bone I have to pick is they are so slow. Like they walk in every day and they have to act surprised that a whole audience is there. Like they walk back from the back room and they're like, and then the lady introduced them like live with Mark and Kelly. And then everybody's like screaming their head off. And they come out and they're like,
what? Y'all are here what are y'all doing?
And everything is slow. Like when they're saying hi, they like sit down. He pulls a chair out. They even like sit down slow. And then it takes like 5 minutes for them, like their little intro. And they're like, good morning. And everything is slow versus like other shows or podcasts are a little like quicker to the point and they have to draw everything out.
Is it an hour or over an hour?
I don't know. I think it might be over an hour.
I just remember doing home health and like being in patients' homes, and that's what they watch in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll go to The View, or it'll be on that,
Yes,
or it'll be like Good Day SA. And I remember like there's this weird thing like when you're working and the TV's on that time of day where you're just kind of watching too, because you're like, I never really watched this.
Yeah,
it's like it's kind of like. So I get what you're saying there, because I remember seeing with Ryan Seacrest, and it was kind of slow.
And they always like are very sarcastic with each other, and there's just a tempo. I'm gonna like if you watch it, you'll know it's like a slower tempo, and she's very very dry and sarcastic, and it just comes across so daytime TV-ish.
Is this what it is? Do you ever feel like when you're at home and that comes on, and you're watching it for a little too long, you're like, What am I doing with my life?
Yeah. I was like, come on, Gigi, let's go do a craft. Like, let's go do an activity.
Like, why am I at this point in my life where I'm watching this?
And in the interviews, they had the interviews with those, the Bella twins. They're wrestlers. Yeah. Well, now they're not the Bella. They changed their name to like Garcia or something. Because
are they still twins?
They're still twins, and they want to be taken seriously. Yeah. And you can tell Mark and Kelly have no clue who these people are, right? And they just are coming on to promote their podcast and like their book or something. And it was so painful to watch because the dynamic, because they're twins, so they are very comfortable with each other, but Kelly and Mark are not comfortable with them.
We would do such a great job. We would kill that show.
I'm like,
y'all need us on
You
there.
have to really dazzle. It's not Kelly and Mark. You got to dazzle the audience.
Yeah.
And they just weren't
so good.
They weren't doing it. And it was so painful to watch. And it was so slow. And then like they were trying to stay connected. And you know what gets me every time? They're like, we got to go to commercial break. And so they like pan off and everyone's clapping. And I think it's so funny because what are the guests supposed to do when you go to commercial break? It's so awkward because they're like, we're cutting and they're still filming. So every time Kelly or Mark will bend over the chair and they'll talk to the guests like they are best friends. And it's so funny because clearly they're not.
Yeah. Like, hey girl.
And so she's always like this. And like, she's bending over trying to talk to them as they pay into commercial break. And then I have a feeling when they're actually on commercial, when they cut, they're probably like, la la la, like they probably stop fake talking to them. Yeah. I just think it's funny.
I guess I just remember like that coming on, especially when we were younger. Like it's summertime and you have nothing to do in the summer. That comes on, and then General Hospital hits, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
It's too much.
Like, I wasted a whole summer day and mourning these four things. Don't
get me started if like a Maori comes on, or what's it called? Jerry Springer.
Did y'all watch?
Did Jerry Springer die, or did they?
Yeah, he died.
That up? Okay.
Is it Maori or Maury?
Maori.
That show, is that still going on? Is he still on there?
John? So one thing John knows.
Is this true that Mari used to be married to Connie Chung?
I have no idea.
Anyways, that was crazy where no one was the father or someone was the father.
Dude, talk about like, what am I doing with your life? When that comes on and you watch it.
I always felt like when I was younger and Jerry Springer came on, I always felt like a little naughty.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to be
watching
I was like,
I do want to watch it though.
You are supposed to be watching. Girl, I remember watching it too, and I was like, he ain't the father.
Yeah, he ain't the father. Or like a girl will come out and like with just a bra on and be like, he ain't the dad. I'll be like, oh, mom and dad are not home.
Yeah, look at her boobies.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. Like he's a whore. And I'm like, oh my God, he is though.
Yeah. And when they had to do the lie detector test or DNA test? And then they celebrate so hard that they're not. And then they're like,
I told you.
I told you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic. Good times. So that's my Senora vibes.
Sports update.
Let's hear it.
Did it. So this is, let me tell you, the month of August is not it for sports.
Totally.
It's not it. It's one of those months where you're just trying to get through it to get to September. That's how we say it in Spanish, right? Yeah. Septiembre. Agosto is not the month you want to be in. August has like baseball, but it's like you're kind of winding down a little bit, but you're not really there for baseball. So it's like a stretch.
Right. I can see that.
And then you have like training camp starting for football.
Right.
And it's like, you're just waiting for football to start.
Right. I would argue that August is just not that month in general.
Like
for
throw
sports
it out.
Or for
if your
anything.
birthday, is anyone's birthday in August here? Exactly.
We love you, Cammie.
Whose parents have sex to where they want to have a kid in August?
Your brother and sister,
Who has a birthday in
sister-in-law.
August?
Our nephew Cam.
Cammy.
yeah. Where you track that?
We love you. Throw August out of the calendar, okay?
August, it's a little bit of a dead month, I'm not gonna lie. Because it's like you're waiting to start school, or school for Texans start in August.
And that's why it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's like the end of the summer, but it's not because it's still hot here.
I'll talk in return of sports.
I know
you're going a little extra.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. I just called my nephew this month.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Keep August in. Our nephew's birthday's in August. Just that date though. And so sports update. We're winding down August.
Right.
We're right in September right now, and we're really pushing. Football season is just about to start. Fantasy drafts are underway. I'm getting ready for DraftKings daily fantasy football.
Girls, if you're watching on YouTube, watch this.
I can't wait till sports gambling's legalized in Texas, so I can become an addict and lose all our money.
That's
and
the only
cause
thing you're waiting to be legalized in
family.
Texas. I see where your priorities are. Okay.
And so DraftKings, I'm getting ready. My fantasy drafts. Yahoo, you need to fix your fantasy draft. I didn't get a D- in every single one of my leagues. I know I did better than that because I did a lot of research.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's the sports update. Is we're getting ready for fantasy football. The Chiefs and Lions just played,
but that's in September.
Wait. Wait, are we not doing present time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we are?
No, go ahead.
Wait, are we?
Yeah, we are.
Oh.
It's the present time. Yeah.
Wait, we are?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Chiefs and Lions.
Guys, we're back filming, okay?
Okay, so the Chiefs and Lions just played. And Travis Kelce was out, your boy.
My boy.
She also
talk about the other Kelce.
She also called
Remind
out
me, John.
She also called out Jason.
Yeah.
Kelce. Yeah, so we're in good time. Football's about to start.
Football's about to start. There is something very nostalgic about football starting. And I only wish it was cool here, like actual temperature at fall, because it's very significant to me that football season is here. And that's usually like, fall time, a new leaf, if you will. And this boy with this freaking fantasy drafts, I don't get it. I don't want to get it.
Tell him about what happened.
Let me tell you guys.
Let me tell you my perspective, and she'll tell her perspective. Go ahead.
There's only one perspective, Ribu, and it's mine, and you know
because you're the motherly mom. Mine's the guys.
Let me tell you how I was about to get a divorce in 10 seconds from this guy. Yeah, and I know he has cancer and lots of things going on. I was still going to divorce his ass.
One thing.
I was still going to. I hope your parents are watching because this is what happened.
I told them.
Yeah. So the fantasy draft is.
Let me put a little history into it.
Okay.
I've been doing this fantasy draft with my PT school guys, just brothers who have helped me through the cancer, who mean so much to me.
Last draft, didn't they give you last year?
Yeah, last draft. That's exactly when I got diagnosed. They gave me the winnings. I didn't win. I was third or fourth place, but they were like, "Hey, you're going through cancer. Here you go." So I have to be there for them. Right? I have to be present, have to be active.
Don't you
and
dare
so this has been
guys, 10, I need you to stay focused.
This has been 10, 15 years of doing this draft. So I had to be there. And it's if you do fantasy drafts, the early rounds are the most important. I mean, every round is really important. So that's the setup is
what day was this?
This was what day was it?
I didn't know if it matters.
This was a Monday.
Okay.
No. I don't know what day. We were in Dallas, but
yeah, we were in Dallas last weekend. Right.
Yeah.
He's doing his draft. I have no idea what entails a draft, but he told me, he's like, "Babe, I have to do my draft." I'm like, "Great. I have to live my life." What does that mean? Yeah. What does that signify?
It means a lot for us.
And so him and Ruben, his brother, were just sitting there up in their draft on their phone. And
Ruben wasn't doing draft.
Oh, okay. Well,
he was. We were strategizing about cancer.
Okay,
about life,
shut up. No. Listen,
football.
guys, I need you to stay focused right now, especially the mothers who are watching this. So we're doing this draft, or he's doing this draft, right? And we're at your parents' house in Dallas.
Correct.
All the cousins are here. Ruben and Tina are here. We're eating. We're about to have a meal. Thai food. We ordered DoorDash. Lovely. We love it. Juju is tired from the day, so I'm going to go give him a bath. and I'm going to put him to bed. We're going to eat Thai food. You're going to do your stupid draft, and we're going to live our best life, right?
Yeah.
So I take him upstairs, give him a bath, put him to bed, give him a bottle because he when we go to Dallas, he gets a little off with his eating and, he's excited to play and all of that stuff. So I was giving him a bottle and I noticed he was falling asleep while he was drinking his bottle. So I interrupted him. And took, I was like, okay, let's go to bed. And he ate a ton this day because he was making up for the day of travel that he didn't eat a ton. So I'm like, let's go to bed, Gigi. So I put him in his crib and typically we put our son down, say goodnight, turn off the light, and he goes to bed since he was 6 weeks. And that was very important to me that we had a good routine where you just go to sleep.
We put him down.
I don't want to have to I'm not going to rock your ass. I don't want to read you 60 stories. I don't want to have to dance in front of you for you to go to sleep. It's been important for me. You just put him down and he goes to sleep. I put him down expecting him to go to sleep because he was already asleep drinking his bottle. I put him down. He erupts in a frenzy of I'm not ready to go to sleep. He is crying besides himself. I'm like, why are you crying? Go to sleep. And so I'm over there turning off the light. I was going to turn on his fan, whatever. And Rib comes up. He's like, you good? And I'm like,
no, that's not what I said.
Let me finish.
That's not what I said.
Here's where I was going to divorce my husband is Julian projectile vomits everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Projectile.
Guys, I'm talking about this guy vomiting.
There is chunks
everywhere.
of his chicken curry.
I'm like, I'm like, oh.
Okay, he didn't even throw up on you, Ribu.
Oh, I'm 50 feet away.
I'm going to divorce you a second time. Shit. So he's throwing up all over me, in my mouth, on my neck, on my shirt, in my hair, on him, of course, in the pack and play, in the crib thing, on the mattress, not so much on the floor, thank God. And so I'm like, okay. I go into this mode of all right. So and Ribu's in the front and at the door being like, are y'all, he came in, he's like, are y'all okay? And then Julian started literally right then. Yeah. Right. So, and I had just given this boy a bath. So I'm like, all right, okay, let's put him in the bathtub. Right. And Julian is besides himself crying because he's throwing up and he keeps throwing up. So I hold him with my arms extended, taking him to the bathtub.
He's still throwing up on the way.
And you can't just put him in the bathtub, turn the water on and rinse him. You have to get it somewhat warm and you have to do this. And he's moving and squirming. I take his clothes off. When I fling his top off, all the chunks fling onto me and to my face.
And
blah,
to
blah,
me,
blah.
And to me.
And Rib is behind me in the bathroom and he's closing the door. And this whole time I thought, I was like, okay, he's probably getting the towel ready. He's getting the soap prepared.
Which I did.
He's getting he's doing this. Right. And
so everything was being prepared.
Shut your face, Ribu Thomas.
It was.
So I'm putting him in the bathtub, right? And I'm like, babe, and I turn around and he's like, just 1 second, babe. It's my time. It's my time to put the draft in. Just one. And he if you're watching on, he's like, just 1 second. All right. And then he put his phone down. I looked at him because Julian is beside himself. I have throw up in my eye, on my eyelashes, in my hair. Our son has thrown up everywhere. And he's like, just one quick second. It's my turn to draft, babe. And he looked at me. You looked at me.
Because I knew.
I am risking it all.
It was either Chris Olave or this marriage, and Chris Olave, I had to pick up.
I looked at him. I said, you're dead to me. You're dead. I said, get the fuck out. You're dead. You're dead to me. And he decided to do that. And that was the time I was going to divorce my husband. I stand by it. I was livid.
Let me ask a question, though.
Let me dare say, is he okay?
No, let me ask.
It's not about that.
Let me ask this question. If I win fantasy football this year.
What, $20?
No, $1,200, $1,500.
That doesn't, it's.
They'll stutter or no stutter?
No. That ain't worth it to me.
If I made $1,500, it solves all the problems. Am I right?
John!
Yeah, am I right? I mean, I think everyone here could be like, hey, if that pick, Chris Olave. Here's my side of it a little bit. And I won't add too much to the story because it's pretty accurate.
Oh, thank you. So I'm right.
And so only things I would say was, as a father who has cancer.
This is the one joy.
Who's fatigued. This is the one joy in life.
Were you were fatigued that day? Didn't you play golf with Jobin and that same day, right?
No, the day.
I think it was. Yeah,
that was the next morning.
Yeah,
after a full night's rest,
real fatigued that day, man.
After a long drive and 7 days after chemo, you
God.
really enjoy the few things in life. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, she's right. I did. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, you stood by it, and I stand by it too. I was so mad.
Yeah,
I was so mad, and then and just the way you looked at me because you knew.
I knew it.
You knew.
I knew it.
And I
was like, I gotta draft Crystal. I was like, if I don't draft him, I don't trust Yahoo auto draft.
1% of me at that time laughed a little bit. I said, damn, you had the balls to do that.
But it was like 1 second to where I was like, this is gonna take 1 second to. I already know who I want, and I'll just take his clothes off.
And I heard that stupid ding.
Yeah,
is that when it's your turn to draft or to do something?
So this is the funny part about.
I'm about to throw that phone in the toilet.
This is the funny part about the draft is like. It's called a snake draft, and there's like 12 people.
Appropriate name.
Yeah, it's like a snake draft, and it's like 12 people. So like it goes 1 to 12, and then 12 to 1, right? And so I'm like I'm number 4 or 5, and so it can take a long time when it goes back and forth. So I was like, okay, I have a long time because I thought I was like 12 picks away. It sure wasn't.
Snaked back, didn't it?
You know what was funny? Because it was at the point right when you started throwing up where it was back to back picks. So I was like, fuck. I was like, you gotta risk it. You gotta risk it to win. The real winners take the risk. That's what I did.
Anyways, that was the time I was gonna divorce my husband. And I thought it was appropriate. I was so mad. I was so
yeah, I get it.
Just throw up everywhere on me, really. Luckily our son was okay.
I did a good job cleaning up though. You can say that.
Yeah, you did a good job cleaning up, I guess.
No, I did a great job cleaning up. You way better than you would have done.
Yeah. And then everything was fine. But that was funny. That's a sports update, yeah?
That's a sports update and a fantasy football update. And good luck to everybody this season. If you're looking for tips for daily fantasy football, please reach out. I really do a lot of like work.
Yeah. Yeah, you put a lot of effort
I want to be what they call a sharp.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
Like a sharp player. Sharp.
Oh, just like sharp-witted.
Is it sharp or shark? Sure. I don't know.
Anyways, so that's what's your peak and pit? Let's get into it. Freaking 30 minutes into this dang thing.
You go first.
My peak is work's been doing great. Just doing great. I'm loving this line of brand deals I'm getting.
Yeah, you're doing really good.
And that's been super fun. I got 2 more coming in. I don't know if I can say the brand quite yet. But it's so fun to work with a company. I'm going to just say it like Baby Bjorn, who they're great. They have an agent. They have an agent that talks to my agent who's quick, responds well, negotiates rates very fairly, wants like concise stuff. And that has been a fun experience because I think I have 2 pits, but one of them is not a great experience with another brand. So it's nice to get these brand deals where these very big brands know what they're doing. So nice. So that's my peak. And then that I feel like on not this last episode, but the other episode before that, I was like, say a prayer that I get this brand deal.
Yeah.
And I got it. And it's been great. So I just wanted to update everybody.
Yeah, that is a big peak. You've done a really good job on the brand deals.
Thanks. What's yours?
I feel like you're still angry from throw up. It's like a little animosity.
What the fuck is yours, Ribu? I keep playing it in my head of when you looked at me those eyes and you knew and you chose differently.
My peak is not this. It is my peak, I would say, is just the way I'm doing from the chemo. I would say overall, I feel really good.
Yeah.
Like I went for a run today and I'm like, I have the capacity to now start training for not that I would run for a marathon or anything, but just to get
but it's there.
Yeah. If I wanted to, I could. I guess it's that like if I wanted to start getting back into conditioning, because guys, like I am not conditioned.
Right.
Like I couldn't even run like 20 yards without getting tired. So it's that. It's just kind of my peak is just kind of like after the second session of chemo is just still being able to recover and feel pretty good. Like this is probably the best I felt. Like I don't have asthma when I'm running. I don't have any pain anywhere. I feel like I'm getting better. Like things on my neck that I could palpate before.
Yeah, I can't find them.
Like I would make Liv feel it every other week. That way she doesn't get used to it. But I would feel it every 10
multiple
times a day. And I would be able to find them and really palpate. And they showed up on the scans. And I haven't been able to palpate them. So I'm hoping the scans don't show them either.
Yeah, I think that's great. You're looking good. You're feeling.
Oh, and also I feel like my skin cleared up.
It does. I'm looking at that forehead right now.
I'm telling you right now. So like, remember I told you I felt like I had leprosy last podcast.
Yeah, you broke out.
Leprosy, I found out from John, is also called mange. Correct? You say mange? Almost like mange.
It's not a pure definition, is what John's saying.
So I was looking like a leper. But guys, I started a whole skincare routine. If you're not on
the way your skin's looking right now, babe, flawless.
This is the best it's ever looked.
That's normal.
I would even say a little better. Like, for instance, when I didn't tell you this, when I go out to marketing, there's this old lady at the front desk, and she's an old black lady. And so she saw my skin, and I don't even know who she is. She's like, what do you do for your skin? And I was like, I've never gotten that before. And so I felt pretty good. So guys, if you don't have a skincare routine,
break it down.
Let me break it down. I'm trying to get Liv on this, but I don't know why you just don't do it.
I am just like I need to get better. I moisturize and cleanse.
Do you just moisturize and cleanse? Oh my God.
Clip that.
So what I do is, and I saw this on someone else's Instagram post a long time ago. I just remembered it. A little bit of CeraVe sunscreen, which is like SPF 15. It's meant for your face.
Right.
Little dots.
Doesn't leave a white cast.
Doesn't leave a white cast.
We love to see that. White cast meaning it makes you look white.
Yeah. Little hyaluronic acid, but not every like day, like once a week.
Is this a serum?
This what do I use with the dropper?
Serum.
Yeah. What we call in the MUA industry a serum.
Mm-hmm.
I also add in CeraVe moisture increase on top of that. But guys, when you're putting it in, just make sure you're patting it in.
Right.
Don't like rub.
Right.
Don't rub.
Fragile.
Get eye cream, put it under your eyes.
Right.
And then Liv taught me this to put a little bit of Vaseline over. And what does that do again? It just locks it in.
Locks in that moisture.
Locks in moisture. And I've just been doing that. And so I do that every day except hyaluronic acid. It's the only thing I take out one time a week. And I feel like my skin's been like responding.
Responding well.
Like I used to have like really dry skin around my nose.
Yeah, around your nose.
Well, okay, that's what I just said. You have to really add in.
I was going to say, you have some real crusty skin.
Crusty stuff. But especially during the leprosy times.
Yeah, so he came back from his run this morning. He's like, babe, look at my skin. And I was like, where did those spots go?
Where did they go?
The acne was there from, we knew like, boom, it just erupted that one day from your chemo.
Tina's the one that reminded me to use sunscreen for that kind of acne. So I did, and it really did make a lot of difference.
Because it doesn't, not stain, like scar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because the sun doesn't help with that discoloration, that hyperpigmentation. Makes sense. But he came back and I was like, you know what? What the heck?
I was like, it all went away.
Yeah. So it's looking great. I'm glad you got your skin
fellas,
routine.
Get on your Americano game. Get on your skincare routine game. And I even heard if you keep your skin nice and moisturized, you won't be looking like 60 when you're like,
that's
40.
John, do you have a skincare routine? No.
Okay.
Do you moisturize your skin? Okay.
Yeah.
You wash, cleanse your skin? Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, with I use the CeraVe
cleanser.
Yeah.
I think it's called an everyday cleanser.
Everyday,
something like that.
But
and CeraVe cream.
CeraVe cream, yeah. I don't know how I got to this point, but that was like the peak part of it, and like.
Yeah. Oh, your peak was you're just feeling
good. Yeah, feeling good, clearing up.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you about my pit. Okay. My pit is I sprained my ankle. And I sprained it pretty freaking bad. Yeah. And let me tell you, this past Monday, I'm like, I have some time in the morning. I'm going to start doing my walks. I was like doing my walks religiously with Juji in the stroller, but this boy doesn't want to be in the stroller anymore. So he wants to walk in the backyard. So we've been doing like him in the backyard. So I haven't really gotten like steps in a while. So I'm like, let me go for my walk. My mom came and I was like living my best life going for this damn walk around our neighborhood, which if you've been to our house, it's hella hilly.
Yeah.
So like mountains, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm walking, I'm like listening to a podcast. I'm having a great morning. I'm feeling good. Heart rate was nice, right where I wanted it, right? And so I'm walking by the older side of our neighborhood where there's a lot of cracks in the road. Girl, I was like so distracted because I was looking at the new houses they're building on the golf course behind our house, right? Yeah. I was like, dang, they added this new one. Oh my God, it's looking great. Bam.
Down, pop.
Down.
Step on a crack, break your mom's back.
I stepped on the crack the wrong way and I immediately heard a pop and I went straight to my knees on the top of the highest hill of our neighborhood.
Yeah. Right? We got some hills.
So I was like, I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? And I was like, maybe it's because I've sprained my ankle a ton when I was younger, like playing basketball, playing outside, like I've just been known to sprain my ankles. Yeah. I sprained it one time in PT school, going down a step the wrong way. And
is it the same one? Always the same one?
I think it's pretty equal on both, even on both. Anyway, so I'm like, all right, maybe I'm going to stand up and I'm like, I'll be able to walk. Maybe it's one of those, it was like a quick one and you can like walk it off. Girl, I took one step and I went right back down. So I'm like, shit. So I'm like, well, I could roll down the hill. And then I was like, I'll just call my mom. My mom was at our house like a minute away, but with Juju. So she had to like pack up Juju, whatever. And she comes and picks me up. She's like, well, since we're already here, you want some Starbucks? So I'm like, yeah, let's go to Starbucks. Yeah. So the drive-through at the one at the rim was so freaking long. I'm like, Mom, just go to the other one up the road by
UTSA?
No, Leon Springs, the one I always go to. I'm like, okay. And she was like, oh, you should try the mobile order. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I'm going to do the mobile order pickup thing. So I'm like, oh, what do you want? Whatever. Like, I'm whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, she's like, I'll go get it. I'm like, yeah, you just go up to the counter and you read. And right when I said you read your name, I'm like, you don't have your glasses, do you? And she's like, no, I don't have my glasses. I'm like, I'm gonna have to do it.
Oh, you have to
have to get out of the car.
I didn't know you got to get out of the car.
She's like, I won't be able to. Like, she can't. She can't read. She
can read.
I mean, she can't read without her glasses.
She can read.
And she's never done the process before. And sometimes at that Starbucks, it's like a ton of mobile orders, so you have to like sort through it. And I'm like, okay, I'll go. And at that point, I had already taken my shoe off.
Oh,
and you know what happens when you take your shoe off after you sprain your ankle? It was like swollen. So I'm like, I want my coffee, and I had already ordered it. I'm like, I'm gonna do it.
This is a bigger battle than I've ever faced in my life.
I'm like, Mom, pull up. I had her pull up to the handicap, like caddy corner. So all I had to do was just walk straight in. So I'm like, all right. I put my shoe on. I step out of the car. I put the shoe on the pavement so I can like sit and step and stand into the shoe. Right. Mm-hmm. I do that and I fall again to my knees because it hurts so bad because you had to kind of like wiggle it in, and that lateral translation just, oh my God, I was like in tears, right? And I'm like, I'm getting this damn coffee.
They're like looking at outside Starbucks.
And of course, this is the Starbucks I go to, I meet John at all the time. Yeah. I know the people there, right? There's this one guy, Angel, who's like, I think he's the manager there, and we're always like do a little kiki moment. We chit chat. I walk in and he's like, girl, what happened?
Oh, they asked you questions?
They saw me.
That's so
friggin' fumble my ass trying to get the coffee.
Did they help you?
I sprained my ankle. They were like, oh, okay, well, have a good day.
Oh, they didn't help you?
They didn't help me. So I'm just like hobbling into, and then my mom, so I sprained my ankle and that was a pit because I was looking forward to this whole week, like doing my exercises and walking and stuff. And it's finally today. Finally today, I woke up and forgot I sprained my ankle.
Oh, good.
So it's good.
Good.
Yeah, we're getting there.
That's recovery. What are we talking about? Pits. My pit is that I didn't break even this month. My work.
That was a big goal of yours.
Yeah, like I failed. I'm not gonna say like
Ribu.
No, it is. I that was my goal. I said I'm gonna do it in August, and I didn't. So a little back history. So I'm a physical therapist.
Start from the beginning, baby. Because I feel like we've talked about your new. It's not new so much anymore, but it kind of is. But we talked about a couple of episodes ago generally what you do.
Yeah.
But we've been vague because of certain things about that. So we haven't like really talked about like your
what
company, your business, what it is. So get into it.
So I'm a physical therapist.
Yeah.
So I'm a physical therapist. We graduated at 16. And I did outpatient therapy at a clinic for a long time. I thought that's what I wanted to do because I love sports, but it fucking sucked as an outpatient therapist.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own. And so I started a cash-based practice, which seems like such a long time ago, John, but that's where I met John at. And I started Omega Sports and Recovery.
Yeah.
And I did that for a couple of years, and I was inside CrossFit gyms, and I learned so much from it.
Yeah.
Like that. So I learned so much from it. And at the same time, I was doing home health physical therapy, which is when you go to patients' homes, you work for different companies, and you treat patients in their homes. And so I did that for so many years. And then I got a job as a SNF at a skilled nursing facility called Morningside Ministries as their director for rehab for skilled nursing, outpatient, and home health.
Yeah.
Did that
for all of their locations.
For their locations. And I did that for 2-3 years. And randomly, I knew a DON, director of nursing at Morningside, who went to work for this company called All County Home Health and Hospice. I didn't know she went there. I didn't talk to her after she left Morningside. But she just randomly texted me and told me, hey, you should submit your resume to this company. And I was like, okay, I'll just, I never turned down an opportunity. I'll just do it for the hell of it.
Yeah.
So I submitted it, and we went through like an interview, and I was like, this is pretty cool. I was like, we went through a couple more. And the more I kept hearing about the job, I was like, okay, this is probably something I do want to do.
Right.
And so I signed on with this company called Pennant. And Pennant is a publicly traded group. And what they do is they run and they acquire home healths and hospices across the nation, as well as on their other side, assisted living facilities, independent living facilities. And so they had an opportunity in San Antonio for me to train at All County Home Health and Hospice.
Yeah.
And become a CEO in training.
Right.
So in April, that's what I started. I started a CEO in training program at All County Home Health and Hospice with the objective of owning, Pennant bought it, but you're owning and running a home health and hospice.
Right.
And so I got the job at All County Home Health. So anyways, All County Home Health and Hospice, little background, because I'm very bought into my organization now, and I think it's important for people to know.
Yeah. It's yours now.
It's pretty much mine. So it's like we got it it was formed in 2008 by the owner, whoever started it at the time as a hospice, and they ran it all the way to 2019 until Pennant acquired it. And it sucked. Yeah. Like I'm talking about just a loser of a company, All County Home Health and Hospice.
Sucked in a way of more than one thing. Culture sucked, revenue sucked.
Yeah.
Debt, like it just sucked. Just
everything, like everything. Live name, like no making money and nothing like that. And we started, and so that was going on until hopefully until I came in April, and we started noticing some of the things that were going on. I officially got the job as the executive director in June. And the goal, so you have a company that's been losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you're trying to turn it around to make a profit, right? Yeah. And it's been probably one of the funnest things I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I think it's so much fun because of the people who are there. So like our DON, or we call them DCS, a director of clinical services. Her name is Nikki. She is like an all-star. She is so good at what she does. She is great in knowing everything it comes to what it takes to do, what it takes on the clinical side, even operations side for home health and hospice. Then you have like everyone else. We talked about Michelle last podcast. She's there. We're bringing on new people, the clinical staff. I can name so many people. Anyways, am I going too long?
No, I was going to say back up a little bit because so I'm going to fill in for you because I feel like you're not giving yourself credit. So you started in April as this training, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in June, let's be real, the ED that was there, I won't name the name, sucked.
Yeah.
Right. He didn't have any plans, goals, ambition, desire, or drive to turn it around. He was okay with losing how much a month?
Like hundreds of thousands of dollars
a month.
I wouldn't say he was okay with it.
Or,
I would say there like
he didn't have plans.
It wasn't like as like he wasn't just like as ambitious to make it.
Yeah.
Make it whole.
Yeah. I think certain people thought that eventually they'll get there maybe versus attacking it head on.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a correct statement? Yeah. And so, I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars and like
a month.
So they let go of that person and they, of course, gave it to Ribu because in the time that Ribu was training to when they let him go, Ribu was making more steps of
I think
change.
I can say it as it is. Like when I started in April, the first thing I noticed was like when I got into there, you already notice how good Nikki is at what she does.
Yeah.
And how like she just needs support to just run and do her thing. Cause she's great at what she does. She wasn't getting that.
Right.
And she knew she wasn't getting that.
Right.
But then also at the same time, there were so many things like, why aren't we marketing here? Why aren't we pushing here? What are we doing every day? And so literally my first week, it was like, I don't care that this guy's in charge or whoever's in charge or who I need to ask questions to. I'm just going to go fucking do it.
Yeah.
Because you hired me for a reason. And if I lose this job, I'm still a physical therapist. I'll just go get a job somewhere else.
Right.
I literally got nothing to lose here.
Right.
It's all a win situation for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to go out and do my thing and try to market. And so I would go to these buildings and fucking get shot out of the building.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't pay me attention, closed doors. Like I've accomplished so much, I feel like, outside of work too.
Mm-hmm.
And just mentally and what I'm going through. No one knows that shit.
Yeah.
But being inside some of these buildings, I acted just like any other person, get the door shut for months.
Yeah.
April, May.
But the point is that you were doing that and the ED that was there was not.
Yeah.
Right. So I think until you started. And then I think what happened was when somebody who is not as ambitious is seeing somebody who is superseding them in such a short amount of time. Like people could almost say like, what the fuck, who does this guy think he is doing this? Yeah. But you are like, you hired me on to turn around this company.
Yeah.
It starts now and it starts today and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go balls to the wall 100 or nothing or bust. And I think people who respected that, like Nikki and some other players were like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And then some other people who didn't were like, who is, you had a lot of resistance in some capacity. So Ribu is kind of showing, and I'm not trying to like boost you up, but it is what it is. Like Ribu superseded the existing ED so much so that they let him go. Yeah. And they said, you need to do what you need to be in this role. You need to have all county. Because
the plan literally this is the part that I was, before I even knew I was going to get the job at All County, I was always told that from day one, my first interview was always told that we're going to acquire something else in San Antonio.
That will be yours.
That'll be yours. When I started, literally the first week, they were like, I don't know if we're going to acquire anymore. Can you go to Austin? Can you go here? And I'm like, whoa. I was like, for months you kept saying.
Yeah.
And then I kind of started thinking, I think I kind of understand what you're planning based on my performance.
Right. Which was to take over.
Well, no, I wouldn't say start planning. I could tell like.
Well, it was just very obvious.
It wasn't working out with the current ED there.
And they saw, this person who had initiative, drive, and determination. And so anyways, you technically started as the actual role in June. And you went from what was your starting figure of how much y'all were losing?
So I don't know if I can like say financials.
Okay, maybe not say financials, but it was a shit ton of money.
But yeah, they would lose a
lot of money per month. And Ribu's goal was to break even by what, August?
My goal was to get us to break even by August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And And with that, you know, and it's crazy because it's only been 2 months, but you and your team have turned it around.
Yeah.
To where you were so close to breaking even.
Like I had a goal and mindset where I was pushing every day, and everyone was pushing every day, working hard, weekends or whatever, to get August to be that goal.
Yeah.
And we fell short. And it's like,
by not a ton though. And the thing is, like, the progress you made, even though you're still losing them, you haven't broke even, but you're still losing the money, is incrementally significant to versus had another month gone with that ED, you would have lost a lump sum, you know, like it would have just gone completely more in the negative.
Yeah. So, I mean,
so y'all are getting there. Yeah. And I think that's very admirable for 2 months. You had to hire, fire, reconfigure roles. You had to take on roles. Nikki had to, shift in some ways too. You had to go out and market, get doors slammed in your face of like, who the f- are you? Or with All County having a bad reputation from previous owners, things like that. You had to instill trust in a lot of your team very quickly for them to get on this, to turn this around. And so I'm very proud of you for doing that, because I think if you were to just quickly talk about what you're doing, it doesn't make a lot of sense, because I think people are still like, wait, but you're a PT, but you're not a PT anymore. You're this, you're trying to turn this around. How much are they losing your month? Oh, you're trying to get that. You didn't break even. Like what, and it's like, no, like to get close to breaking even with how much you were, they were losing is very, very admirable.
And everyone's been saying that, like, it's very admirable. I just think for me personally, I've just had that mindset of like, just like we talked about the last episode with tournament.
Yeah.
Like as much as I've played great and done good, I failed. Like I take it to that level, because it's like, if I don't take it to that level, then I won't have a chip on my shoulder to push myself to be like, hey, you know that feel like
you don't want that feeling again.
like this early this week, I took it really hard, because I was like, damn God, like I don't want that feeling again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I don't want that to have that feeling again. Anyway, so like we're September. I hope we do. We're pushing hard right now. It's like right on the edge.
Yeah.
It's like, will we, won't we?
And how you're getting close is by, it's crazy, because I feel like I've learned a lot about the business as well, with you being the owner and you coming home and telling me everything. So it's crazy that in order to do that, you have to have so many people on board, knowing their roles and really like trying to better the company, right? Or better the facility, the agency. And so it's been interesting, because you've had, I don't know, you like with the marketer that may come on, like you had to take these crazy risks that I feel like a lot of people would feel is too risky at this time to do. But I think with your plan and your determination, that it will pay off. Yeah. It's just a big risk.
I think so. This is, I like how you said risk, because I think everyone should look into Pennant. I'm not saying this because I work for them. I've never been part of any organization or any work where I'm like, I do like some of the shit that they're doing there. Mm-hmm. Like some of the things that they have it down that makes it fun for someone to join the company.
Right.
So like, if you don't know what Pennant is, just look into it. I don't want to go like into detailed explanation, but this company has shit down where it's like, they don't call themselves a home health and hospice company. It's a leadership company, and they try to build good leaders.
Yeah.
And trust me, they really scout them out. And there's a lot of them that are not good leaders, even though they bring them in and try to train them. They try to train you not in like home health and hospice, but as leadership and culture. Mm-hmm. And for someone that like reads about a lot of that stuff before I start this job, I learned even more coming in.
Yeah.
But one of the things they talk about is taking intelligent risk. Yeah. Like you can't be afraid to take an intelligent risk.
Right.
And, I never heard it put in that aspect before.
Yeah.
And so like, that's the fun part about this job is like, it's on you. Like
that you're able to do that.
But they're still like, do it. Is it intelligent though?
Yeah.
Like how are you determining it? No one's your boss in this thing. You have a cluster of people you work with from other organizations, and you meet every week, and you're kind of just discussing your thoughts and your intelligent risks.
Yeah.
Along with other things. But that's the fun part about this thing is where I'm like,
and it pays off too. It's like there's so much incentive in doing well.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was a big thing with you and your other jobs is like you're capped out with how much you can make, which we've talked about in previous episodes before, like that your brain. And I always have to tell Ribu this too, that I think people you work with are starting to realize, but it takes a while to realize how different your brain is. And especially if they were working with somebody who is more standard in how they work, like Ribu's brain and how he processes things and works is always something that I've admired and is different, I think. And so I always have to tell Ribu, like, your pace is a lot faster. The things you expect out of people, would you say is higher, a standard, and I think is different, especially if you're working closely with them, and especially if there's money attached to it. Like, especially if this is going to make or break for your livelihood, for how much you make, if there's incentive to make more, then that's like a level up thing that I think certain people rise to that occasion, and certain people have a lot of doubt and resistance that I don't think you've right now currently have anybody in your life doing that. But it's always been like his story is like Ribu's here. And then there's a lot of people who want to be there, but they can't, there's not taking the steps or the opportunities that people, you know.
I agree.
So it's just interesting.
I think one thing, like, to mark your point, maybe this topic is like, for instance, I've always wanted to do this, and we're doing it at Elk County, is when we hire someone, like, we're not hiring someone based on skill. For instance, like, if you're like a CNA or a PT, or even like an office staff, right? Like, you have skill. You're coming in with skill.
Sure.
Like, it's not like, you know, can you do this transfer? Who gives a fuck about that shit? You have a license. You should have skill. If you don't have skill, don't even walk through the door.
Exactly.
That's foundation. It's about the person you are and the potential you possess to be something bigger. So there's people that we hire that don't even think they have the potential that they have. But that's the fun part for me, is being like, okay, like, you can do this, but like, how do you add on this aspect of it? And there's so many people that I hired that are like, that end up being great. Like, there's this one person we just hired at Elk County who I think can be really good. Like, her first week killed it. She doesn't think she probably killed it as great as she did, but she really did great just in 1 week. But there's like some marketers I've hired that I'm like, man, like, we talked about this in a meeting, but you're telling me, hey, it'll happen in due time. Or I had this marketer who came up to me and he left. He's not part of us with our organization anymore. But before he left, he was having this conversation about, he's been in this industry 20, 25 years. And he was like, you know, Ribu, you're a clinician. Like, you don't know how the marketing side is of things out there. You don't know how it goes. And like, I'm a nice guy, and like, I'm never going to yell at someone in their face, but like, I always carry a chip on my shoulder, and I'm always like looking for motivation from people who tell me little shit. So that motherfucker gave me motivation, because I'm like, I told him on the spot, I was like, listen, you do not know who I am. Yeah. And so I told him like the 10 things I've done. He was like, oh, okay. So then you do know. Yeah. And that's what you don't want to hire. Yeah. Someone people who think they know. Who think they know. It's like, we're hiring you for potential, because you're not walking into the same company you did before. I think that's different, because I feel like that person probably did fine as a marketer in an agency that was probably already up and running, that they didn't have to, they're not trying to grow like you are, like literally come out of the negative and try and be the best. Yeah. So when people like that are placed in something like this, where they see a little bit of an advantage of like, oh, he's new, he doesn't know maybe like what he's doing. I've been 25 years in the market, blah, 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 blah. And then they vet it out really quick of like, no, you're not shit. Like, you suck. You're not. I'm going to push you every you're gonna push. Second. And I'm going to praise you when you do great. Yeah. And we're going to celebrate you. And we're going to do a bunch of stuff together when you kill it. Yeah. But if you suck, you have to know you suck. If you suck, you know we hired you because of your potential, and we know you have the potential to not suck. But why aren't you putting the work in to not suck? Because they've coasted for that long too. Because there's companies that are just like, yeah, I'll pay you blah, blah, blah to
go do half the work that you're expecting.
Yeah.
So it's been really interesting and different to experience this on this side of like that person you were saying who's doing great that this first week. I know who you're talking about. And I feel like with people like that, they probably aren't expecting somebody to see potential in them. They're probably just expecting them to be the workhorse. Yeah. Like that's it. Like a clock in, clock out. You do the work, great, but you are expecting more out of them. And once they recognize that you are seeing more in them, they get so excited and motivated. Yeah. Like in your other job, you had done that with a couple of people who you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Why have you been here for 6 years, 8 years, and you're still doing this? You have way better potential. Do this, do that. Yeah. And they're like, oh my God, somebody saw potential in me.
But then they're still sitting in the same spot.
Right. Yeah. But some have taken off. Some have done well, all of that stuff. So it's just been interesting to see. And yes, you didn't break even. You've got very close to, which is like semantics at this point. But
I think going through this with like the side draft of cancer, like the side, like, in a way, I'm like, it sounds so weird to say, but I'm like thankful for it a little bit that I have the cancer, because it's like a whole different perspective on how to grow a company while you're going through something else. Because like, especially on the hospice side, it hits home, because like a lot of the patients you bring on to hospice are ones who are terminally in cancer.
Right.
Not saying that I'm there or I'll ever get there, but if I ever do get there, it's like, okay, I'm looking at this person who like, this sounds weird, but like who could be me when I'm like 70 years from now. That's the goal. That's hopefully,
sure.
Like a long time from now when I'm 100. And so it's like, you're looking at this person, but dealing with cancer now, you look at that person, and I look at their clinicals, I'm like, cancer. And you see like some words that are the same, not like type of cancer, but like mutations.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I'm sure it's jarring to see
every time,
man, that's what I have
every time. But it's a blessing, because it puts my mind in an aspect of like, that's why I'm different. That's why all counties are different, because they have an owner who's not only clinical, but who's going through some of this stuff these patients are going through.
Totally.
And not just a cancer that's like, this sounds bad, like every cancer is major, but like that's, a rare one.
Sure.
And so when I see these patients, I like going with Nikki to these admissions, because I want to see how it's like. How are we treating them? Like,
I think you have just that whole new perspective on how you want to be treated and how you haven't been treated in certain instances with this cancer journey of like, or how, even for me, like if you were in hospice and I was, your support spouse, how I would want to be treated and like how you treat the surrounding family and the daughter and the granddaughter and the wife and the whatever. Exactly. Like, it's really comprehensive for you.
Even on the home health side, doing it for so long, like you see the bad companies. I've dealt with so many bad companies do like home health where they're just like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Yeah.
And like overrunning their workers or not celebrating them or not pushing them or not giving the good ones enough.
Right.
It's like,
I think there's a fine balance with that too. And then it's so insightful because you have been that worker. You've been the PT who has been the best one on the team. Mm-hmm. And
I was the director for
you've been the director for one. You've been, training other ones, all of that stuff too. So you really do get to see a lot of what's good, what's not. What I feel like what's the most challenging is for you to find one or find them similar to your work ethic.
PT?
Or just like general staff clinicians would like who, I don't know. I don't want to make this sound petty, like who don't complain about driving, who actually treat them for the allotted time they're billing for. Yeah.
But I think right now we do have like we have a really good set of clinicians. There's not literally one who complains, but if they do complain about drive time, it is valid because like they are literally
driving all over the place.
Yeah, like where it's like we got to get them help.
Totally.
Like they're pushing the boundaries where like I would even be like, this is like crazy amount of driving. So like hopefully that's our project right now is like resolving how we get these clinicians more efficient and allowing them to be more efficient. Because not only does it help them mentally, it'll help us financially too.
And it's cool because the more you're growing with so my whole point was you're now bringing on people because you're growing, and how you grow. Yeah. It's like such a system. Is how you grow is you get more patients, right?
Yeah.
In either hospice or home health. And how you do that is you have to go market to these people or to these places who are discharging people who are appropriate for home health or hospice, right? Yeah. And how you do that is you have to make relationships with these people who say, yep, I'll discharge my patient to All County Home Health and Hospice, or more likely they've had resistance with doing that. Yeah. So it's really cool because it's so means so much more that you're growing because of the work you and your team have had to put in with literally getting them from zero all the way to a happy customer within your agency.
We went from 2, and this is not like speaking of like patients are going through things in their lives. So when I say these are numbers, but they're equating to people. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm just saying numbers.
Sure.
As they're rising. Obviously, it's not a good thing, but we've been able to increase our census from like a number of 2 to like 18.
Yeah.
Right. And a number from like 30 to 60.
Yeah.
Right. And these are people who are going through things. But like I'm happy our census is growing because we're able to provide a clinical product that I truly believe is better than majority of them. And I know we're going to be able to bring on the best clinicians compared to another home health.
Yeah.
Right. Because of the people, because of me and Nikki, we know how to look at the best clinicians. I know other home healths are just hiring because they need more staff.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're the best people.
Sure.
We're hiring the best people along with the best ownership.
Right. But, anyways, but it sounds like it's doing really, it is doing really well. And I know breaking even was your goal and you didn't hit that, but I think, when you make goals and you make progress towards them, but you don't hit them, you still have to celebrate the progress.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too.
And the learning experience that you had.
I just don't want our team to, they know when we celebrate, but I just don't want them to feel like, hey, we didn't accomplish it. We got close. Close is not good. Like, especially in this industry, close is not good.
Right.
They always say the effort is fine, but what are the results? So
I mean, that's
my mindset too.
Yeah. You'll get there. I don't have any doubts in that. And it's just been, really cool to see.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. Okay, let's talk about, you got some funky labs.
The liver.
Their damn liver is not liking one of the chemos. One of the drugs.
Well, it's so much. It's the infusion, the Pemi.
The pemetrexed.
So I got my first infusion. Mm-hmm. I feel fine. Like I can't feel any of this shit.
Yeah.
Like I got my first, other than the infusion.
Right.
But like, and then when I was going to get, do you have time?
Wow. We're at hour 12. How much time do we have left, John? We're talking for an hour and 12 minutes.
I guess so. I'll be real quick.
Damn.
I got my first infusion and then I was going to go get my second infusion.
Yeah.
And then at my second infusion, my liver enzymes were a little high.
Yeah. So
there's a bunch of shit it's like so confusing with the doctor trying to figure out, do I still get it? Do I not get it? I got it. And then the Labor Day weekend, I noticed my liver enzymes. I got lab tests were through the roof.
Yeah, they just like super elevated.
So it's this battle to figure out, is it the infusion or is it the tablet?
Right.
I got another lab test 5 days later and my liver enzymes reduced by 50%, which is a good thing. Like you wanted them to drop. Not normal, but getting close to normal. And so it's a sign that it's most likely the infusion.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean I stopped the infusion, and the infusion's good, but it's a tablet. That's the really important one because it's like, I talked on the last one, it's more specific. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the liver enzymes, but like, I'm not too worried about it. I feel like this whole time God's been good, and I know we've been good, and
you're not feeling symptomatic of like liver
and I really do think we can change some of the treatment plan with the infusions to wait that out a little longer.
Right.
That's what we're discussing next week with the doctor. So it was a good spot still.
Oh, and you got your second infusion. Yeah, you got your second infusion here. So in the last episode, we were going to see if we can get it in San Antonio because it's every 3 weeks. That's a lot of driving to Houston. So we got it here in San Antonio. The clinic has been significantly different from MD Anderson.
Ghetto. No, it's not ghetto at all. It's not ghetto at all.
No, it's not. It's just different. It's different. Yeah. The caliber, I think, of, I don't know, the workers and stuff is a little bit different, but it's fine. It's just an infusion. Everybody's been great there too. Yeah. So we're monitoring the liver enzymes. We're going to see if we need to adjust. We'll see, and we'll just keep pivoting and praying.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no signs that anything.
Yeah.
It's more so just the med. I think that was a big thing too. Is like when we saw that, I think we all kind of panicked and was like, "Fuck! Like, is it the cancer?" But all of us know, like, if it it's just emotional. But it's the med.
Yeah,
and it's a classic thing that happens with that med.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if there's just different options or if we need to pace it differently and all of that stuff too. So, but so far you've been feeling pretty good, yeah.
I feel good. I went for a run this morning.
Girl, Helmy went golfing yesterday again.
Dude, my golf game is getting good, John. I'm talking about like we might hit Tiger Woods level here soon.
Girl, soon enough. Anyways, we got to wrap up now because we're about to run out of battery for the camera. But we love you guys. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok,
and comment
YouTube.
Your Starbucks drink.
Comment your Starbucks drink. We need to know, especially if it's a fall specific drink. And we'll talk to y'all next time. Bye. We interrupt the podcast for today's sponsor. Hey, podcast fam, it's time to level up your work from home game. Introducing ErgoSpace Store, your go-to destination for ergonomic office chairs that blend comfort and style. Whether you're a remote worker or creative genius, their Duo 5 black frame chair is a game changer.
Experience the perfect balance of support and relaxation. Head over to ergospacestore.com, browse their collection, and create your dream office setup. Your back and my back deserve the best, and Ergo Space Store delivers. Elevate your work experience today. Use the code CWordChronicles for $50 off your order.